personally, like this year, least amount of COD I've played since like IW. Mentally, I was so burnt out from going on the feed and looking at how bad the game was. Anytime I opened up X, it's people complaining about hacking, how bad Treyarch is. All our favorite streamers, content creators, they're just dogging on the game, and rightfully so.
It was constantly, you were inundated with people just making some comment about the game or doing some, long post about how COD's going to die or whatever. It definitely wore on us. With that being said, Black Ops 6, the final score, 1 through 10. What do you give it, my man?
So after all the complaining I did of all the hackers, maps, and everything, but out of 10, I'm giving this Welcome everyone to episode 247 of the COD Casuals. We're your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
Doing okay. I said this morning, feeling a little bit under the weather, which is not ideal, but I'm not letting that stop me. We've got a metric load of stuff to be talking about today. It's the big day, Justin. Like this is probably this is like one of our favorite episodes all year. Is we get to just like trauma dump everything that we felt about the game over the year. So I'm excited for this. This is our official Black Ops 6 review that we're doing today. So make sure to get a drink, get some popcorn or something, and get ready because it's going to be a good episode. It's going to be a long episode.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear what people think about what we say. If they agree, disagree, this has been quite a divisive COD.
Oh, yeah. It's, this is one of my favorite episodes all year because, I mean, every year, right, we've gotten to play the past like couple CODs, and we started this podcast all because of Call of Duty. And every time we hit, this time of the year, like new COD's about to come out, we wrap up this year. I'm just thinking like, wow, we started at Cold War, which was back in 2020 during COVID. So we're going on to season 6. I think one Cold War, Vanguard, MW2, MW3. Yeah, season 6 of this podcast, which is that just shows how much time flies. And yeah, it's been different like every single year. I was telling you beforehand, I went back just to see what our MW3, MW2, and just went on to see what those episodes were like and how much we evolved from each episode already.
Yeah,
which I mean that
yeah.
it always happens, right? Like the more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it. But yeah, it's just very interesting in how like we thought about each game, and it's like, yeah, it's going in the right direction. It's going in the right direction, and obviously we don't know our future selves what's gonna happen. You go back, right. You're like, oh wow, we didn't even know. Like
we thought we had it bad then. It's
dude,
like just wait a couple of years, brother.
It was just funny in Cold War. Like we were like so optimistic and happy. Like Treyarch is amazing. Like thank you, Treyarch. This was a great game. You were like, we thought we were bad at this game. You almost didn't buy this game, and we played so much of Cold War. We had so much fun. We were like, can't wait for Vanguard. We didn't even know.
We had no idea that game would test us to our limits.
Dude, immediately. Yeah, after 1 year of the pod and then Vanguard. One of the worst times we've had.
And really we weathered that storm.
Oh, yeah, we did. Exactly.
But yeah, no matter what that happens, we always put out these end of year reviews. No matter how traumatized and how shit the game was, we're always going to show up at the end and be like, we did play the game a lot. Mm-hmm. We do have something to say.
And you know what's crazy? Like this year is very, very different for both of us because it's probably actually no, I know for a fact for me it's the least amount of COD I've played since Cold War.
Yeah, and
that says a lot. The fact that I went through Vanguard and played all of Vanguard, and I finished that out. Black Ops 6, I did not finish it out. By finish it out, I mean, obviously hit master and like play throughout the entirety of the game itself. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by like not completing the game in my eyes. I got over the 50% mark, but there are a lot of other factors of like why I didn't get there, which I'll get into obviously, but I think it does say a lot about the game. You'll be surprised about the score that I give, because the time that I did play, it was worthwhile. But yeah,
This like, in your defense, and people, like, maybe who just listen but don't really know, you did buy a house during this time. Like, you did have a
yeah,
massive, massive life change moment that happened, and all the responsibilities that come with that. So, definitely did play a part of it. But of course, the
mhm,
game itself, which is what we're really going to get into, that did have an impact too. But yeah, to your point, it is interesting to go back and watch those, and especially too, like, just what we've done. Like, this is, you think about, even from the beginning of when we started the season, for this game compared to now, like, both of us are in different locations, like, have made moves. So it is weird to see, like, from our lives, like, when we first started, like, we were both still living, like, I was still living at my mom's, you were living with your parents, and then all these years later, now we're here, and we couldn't have imagined that we'd be talking about Black Ops 7 gonna be the game that's coming up soon here, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, it's
mhm.
gonna be a good one.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are a lot of other factors though that like went into it. Like,
For
yeah,
sure.
I moved out and stuff, but I moved out in 24, so like it's been over a year already for me, like almost a year and a half, and I finished out MW3. I granted it was like
Sure.
towards the tail end of it ish,
Yeah.
but yeah, because I got my house like May, like right before my birthday. And I remember the episode because this was so cool. Like I have it on video. It's like
Right.
you and I were at the Boston Major talking about it. I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm looking at homes and like I think it's gonna happen this year. And then it did. And yeah, then this game obviously came out. Black Ops 6 was the first uh new COD that I've played in this house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did get busier, but there are other things too on top of
Yeah.
that. So,
We'll get to it.
but let's jump into it because we got a lot. Like Mike said, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks. It's a long episode. Every time we do this, we
This
always
is
just go
this
off.
is this is no hour-long episode. We're talking
Yeah,
hour and a half, hour 40
yeah,
here, so
yeah. And
enjoy it.
we have timestamps too down below. So if you guys don't want to listen to the whole thing, just go and click through those timestamps there. But um, let's just jump into it, man. Like first thing we always start off with campaign.
Mm.
Campaign for me, I enjoyed this campaign a lot compared to the previous CODs that we've played, at least going through Cold War. This was a very good campaign for me. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I would agree. It was, granted, it was not that difficult to try to outdo MW3's
Mhm.
campaign, which is isn't saying much, but this campaign really did hit on a lot of things, that people, like, that have been playing Black Ops and following the campaign series have enjoyed. There was a lot of returning characters, which made it exciting. I mean, like Woods being the main one that people always gravitate towards. Um, I thought the whole story with the campaign, I remember it was about, because I had the note there for when I pulled it up because I knew I'd end up forgetting what it was called. That the cradle, which was that bio weapon that they had. This is like I feel the standard Call of Duty thing. It's either some bio weapon that they're trying to figure out, or it's like missiles that are going to be launched. That seems to be the trend in recent years with the storyline for the campaign. But if you're going to have a story that's kind of okay, like, I would say the story in this was, it was serviceable. But the mission variety is really what made this campaign more exciting for me. They fixed a lot of the problems that we had in MW3, like all those open world missions. They scaled those down drastically. They had a good variety of, like, styles of missions that you were going to be doing. I think like, as we go on throughout history in Call of Duty, it's going to be one of those campaigns that it was a serviceable one. It was good. It had some of its moments, but it's not going to be one that people go back and be like, "Oh my god, you have to play that campaign." Like the MW2 campaign, um, or COD 4, for example, or Black Ops 1. Like, those are legendary campaigns that I don't think many games are going to touch in recent years. So, being said with that, the campaign for this game, it was like good plus, not great or incredible, but it was good.
Yeah, I would agree because I enjoyed this campaign a lot in recent years.
Yeah.
Like, uh, like you said, I don't think anything is gonna touch the original campaigns, MW2, MW3, like the Black Ops series. Obviously, because of the storytelling in that, and the time that we were playing it, right? That does play a huge factor into it. I think why I enjoyed this campaign so much in recent years is because one, we're coming off of MW3, which was just horrid, and then this one, they actually, they told the story pretty well, uh, and there were missions that were like really fun, like you said, the cradle when you were in the underground lab, you know,
Yeah.
when you're a zombie trying to uh, unlock like all the doors. That was a really fun mission.
Yeah.
It This campaign is like a typical COD campaign, I will say, and a little bit better than what a COD campaign is because of the variety of missions. But I'm with you. I don't think we're all going to come back and be like, wow, this campaign was the campaign to go and play like post 2019 CODs.
Yeah. And that mission in particular, I remember that very well because that was for sure the highlight of the campaign in my eye. That was one mission where you can't really compare it to any other mission that you've had in previous titles. It was very unique. It drawed in like a bunch of elements from different games. Like I think you had a grapple hook in one of the bosses that you were fighting too, which was interesting. Um, it was just a very odd mission, but in a really good way. Um, and yeah, again, the length too, like comparing to last year's, MW3's campaign was super short. And this campaign was a bit longer. I don't know exactly how long it was. I'd have to go and, check to see what the average time playing on it was, but it definitely had a bit more length to it. What that campaign did have too was it had that safe house situation where you could go and launch all your missions from. This seems to be something that, I've seen other developers and other titles are trying to do and have that be like your main base. And you could do upgrades and you could, like edit your loadouts and do like a whole bunch of other stuff to try to, you know, spice things up. I've always felt that in Call of Duty, when it comes to stuff like that, I really don't care. Sure, it doesn't hurt the game in any way, but does it really add any value? Maybe people listening, they might disagree with me and say that they used that stuff a lot and enjoyed it. For me, I really didn't care. It was always just like, okay, let me do some other BS that like I have to do. The game's forcing me to do just so I can play the mission. Like that's all I really wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think the like home base that you're talking about, that it works for like those open world games, right? Like you have a home base, it makes sense, and I see where they're trying to go with it, but I think we all can agree that Call of Duty is a linear storyline and it should just always be linear, and that's fine. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um, you and I are big single player games, and we have our mix of open world games that we enjoy because they're designed to be open world. And then we also really enjoy linear games because the story is captivating and it is designed to be linear, not like a mix of both. I feel like when you start getting into a mix of both in the campaign, like in Assassin's Creeds, for example, like you have a home base, it's open world, but then you have all these side missions and side quests that you're trying to complete where it kind of takes you off the topic of what the actual story is. I think Black Ops 6 did a good job of keeping you um towards the main story, but they did have I think a couple of side missions, but they weren't long or anything. Personally, I'd be perfectly fine if they scrapped that completely and just went back to what Call of Duty campaigns were, just straight linear, um, pun intended. But
Right.
yeah, like overall, I think the campaign they improved from the previous years and this whole open world stuff. They should never do that again.
Yeah, that being the basis for the campaign in MW3 was terrible. Um I could be forgetting, but I'm pretty sure that this game had only maybe one mission that was like that, which I remember was the car that you had to drive through the desert, and there were all those different
Oh yeah,
sites that
yeah.
you had to
Mhm.
blow up stuff. That was the only mission that was open world. However, even with that, like comparatively, with MW3, that was an open world that you could go and do a whole bunch of different things. like a bunch of different missions within that mission. Like I remember there was some helicopter you could help people that were, stranded there and fight off a bunch of bad guys. Um, Stuff like that, to make those missions a little bit more interesting, I don't mind. But again, I believe if it wasn't just that one mission, they maybe had one other open world mission in there. But if memory serves me, I think it was just that one, which is fine. I don't mind having a one mission like that, but when it's almost half of them and the campaign is very short, that's when it's a problem. Um, yeah, it was a serviceable campaign, no doubt. They brought the house, like the final battle that you have, like or towards I think it's like the last mission or second to last mission where you have to defend the homestead that you're at.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, in the way of campaigns, it was okay. It was solid. Not really much to be complaining about, but um, yeah, again, I was happy with the variety of missions and level types and like locations that you were at, which was always good. Instead of just being in the Middle East all the time or in Europe all the time, it seemed like you were kind of jumping all over the place.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And like the ending itself was like you said, the big battle at the end and um defending, I forget what your homestead, whatever it is. And then you kill that lady. What's her name? Jane something. Jane Harrow. That's her name.
Yep.
Um and I think it gives the mystery of like, okay, are you actually infected with this cradle thing, and it leaves you off with a cliffhanger because typical Call of Duty fashion, like you don't know if they're actually going to continue the story or not. Um, with this guy just typing at the computer, I don't even recognize that guy. I don't know if he is something, uh, but I'm sure they can continue on the storyline of Black Ops 6, which I mean, maybe they do in Black Ops 7. We don't know. Or they go like a different path of Black Ops 7 campaign.
Yeah, these campaign cliffhangers kind of piss me off because like, unless you're gonna be doing, like, what Infinity Ward did back in the day with MW2 to 3, and there was clearly going to be something afterwards, um,
Mhm.
and they didn't completely, ruin the franchise, like, you knew that there was gonna be some sort of story that was followed there. This all was terrible with Ghost, where Ghost is still left on a cliffhanger, and we're still waiting for resolution with Rourke and all those people, like, I don't have a feeling, but I am having a suspicion that yeah, that campaign they tie it up like that to make people be like, oh wow, so interesting. I wonder what's going to happen in the next one, and then it never comes. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
if they do something with it, that would be great because then it's going to give a little bit more weight to the campaign, because it is the start of something. But if they don't end up going anywhere with it, then those kinds of endings they're corny for me. I just don't
Mhm.
you like now when I look back at that Ghost campaign, I think that's kind of cringe. It's like, okay, they make this crazy ending where you're like, oh, can't wait next year. And here we are over
Mhm.
a decade later and that's over.
Yeah. I think the ending of a lot of these campaigns now are with the cliffhangers to buy developers some time because obviously they're not going to come back to back years with games, right? Where
Right.
I previous actually going to be 4 years now. It is like back to back games
Mhm.
that can lead off of the same story, but MW2 to MW3, like it wasn't leading off the story. It was leading a part of the story. Like it didn't continue from that game.
Right.
And
Right.
with Black Ops 6 to 7, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. That it's not going to continue right from the scene of that guy typing on the computer. It's going to be like a couple of years later, or maybe it takes place beforehand. Well, actually, no, it's going to be years later because of the setting that it's in.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I remember from MW2, the OG MW2 to MW3, like you have to wait. Like it wasn't coming out the next year. Yeah, there was a gap in between. So MW2 ended. You were like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Going into the following years, and I think it's hard for developers to let go of characters too. I mean, that's just any developer, right? Like you have to know when to let go of the characters, even though they're loved. You have to, because I feel
Right.
like that's the only clean cut you can do. Where, like, yeah, I like Woods, but Woods in a wheelchair. ain't gonna do anything for me when we're in like Black Ops 7, Black Ops 8, you know?
Right.
I'm the type of person where, other COD uh players probably don't want it or don't like it, like killing off characters, obviously, but you have to kill them off in like the right way and honor them or end it with like a happy ending. I'm fine with that too. But in terms of like the character development, you can't string along, fan favorites for too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a shock factor where and it's controversial, Joel dying in Last of Us 2. People hated that. Some people didn't love it, but like they understood the story, like why you had to die. I'm on that. Didn't want him to die, but like I understand where they're going with it. And the fact that Naughty Dog took the risk of killing him, that says a lot about them and what they believe in the storyline. And the other side of Naughty Dog, like the Uncharted series, yeah, he got his happy ending. Like wrap it all up in a bow. That's perfectly fine too. With Call of Duty, like with Woods, or like all these favorite characters, you have to end it somehow, right? And then start a new list of characters and make players like fall in love with the characters.
Yeah, and you got to think too that Call of Duty is not in the business like the same kind of gaming business that Naughty Dog is, where
Mhm.
they've got these projects where the campaign is going to be dozens of hours long and there's going to be tons of cutscenes and character developments and arcs and all that stuff. Like it's really short. So they got to do their best that they can with what they've got. And to your point, that's why I think they should just go and take a chance on new people, and do that. Because you could make a character that is new and no one has really any impressions of him and make them a good character. Whereas if they use the same tired names that have been in COD for years and years and they're kind of, a shell of what they used to be, the only reason they're doing that is just to get people remotely interested in it. And it doesn't really serve the game at all. Like Woods in that was obviously there for, for that reason. People want to see him in there because he's been a fixture of the game and the series for a long time. Um, but it's kind of at like the discredit of the new characters that they're trying to bring up as well, which they could be people that they develop for years to come. Which I think in this game they did okay with those characters. Granted, here I am and I don't even remember their names. But like I remember them being relatively solid characters that they should try to stick with and try to send the campaign into a new direction going forward. Um, it wasn't like again last year where they had the same characters and they totally changed the story and they killed them off for no reason and it's like kind of all screwed up. This campaign was pretty clear and pretty. It had like a good. What's the way to really put it? Like they obviously had a vision with this campaign and it was executed nicely.
Mhm.
So yeah, I liked it. I only played it once. I ain't gonna play it again for probably 15 years or so. Like I don't have any desire to go back to it, but it was good though. So they didn't
Mhm.
blow it with the campaign like last year. They didn't start off on a bad foot. We played the campaign early. We enjoyed it. We were like, okay, this is good. So far, so good.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the characters were good. Like you said, I remember the characters at the time that I'm playing, and obviously the ones that stick with me are the ones that are most memorable because
Yeah.
I left a statement. Um, and to your point, like Call of Duty campaigns, they're short. They're relatively short. They're like 6 to 8 hours. I want to say,
Mhm.
if that. Like I think eight's kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you're dog shit.
yeah, yeah. If you're bad, it might take you longer. Uh, to Call of Duty campaigns, realistically, if we just sat down for a session, a long session, we can beat it easy.
Yeah.
But I think the average person, they're going to forget about all these characters. They're only going to remember certain scenes,
Right.
which is the other thing. All nowadays, campaigns are just a lot of movies. Like it's just long cutscenes and like a little gameplay, and then the gameplay itself like isn't even that good. So, which is
Right.
why Black Ops 6, I do think the gameplay itself in the missions, it had a good variety and it was fun to go through. But yeah, I just think back in the day with how linear it was made you really bond with the characters, and that's why we remember them. Whereas now it's like, all right, we finished it, cutscene. Like, who is this person? All right, we got to go and like defend this area because the Pantheon's trying to come and get the bomb. Okay, you do that, another cutscene. Like, I'm not falling in love with any of the characters really. I just know that they exist and like where I stand in the
You know,
game.
I remember because I didn't play it that long ago, maybe like a month ago, if that. I played the COD 4 campaign again, and that's regarded as one of the best ever. And because there are no like cutscenes in that game,
Mhm,
which is great. Like they have those intro storylines that go on, but in the mission between the characters, that's where all of the story really develops. Like I remember in one of the earlier missions, you play that campaign, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You remember that earlier mission where you start off like with gas and with soap and it's like at night and you have to go with that Russian guy
Oh,
Kamarov
yeah.
and you have the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sniper over there. Yeah. And he's bullshitting you, like talking
Mhm,
you in circles, like help me support them from the all this thing. Like, and then you see how they react to that and how they handle it and go forward. It's like, dude, perfect. Like
mhm,
that's exactly how you do it. You don't need some like unbelievably pre-rendered cutscene that, has dramatic music in the background. No one gives a shit about that. Like if
mhm,
you just have a good story and you have good character moments like that, that when you see that and you play it, you're like, okay, these guys are not to be fucked with. Like they're
mhm,
not standing for this guy. They don't care about it, even though he's our friend. And in that one mission, you get more development out of those characters than what you get nowadays with a lot of them, where they have these insane cutscenes that most people are just kind of using as a break to go get up and use the bathroom or get a drink. Like it really doesn't have any weight to
mhm.
it.
And
Um, and
what's
wow,
crazy is that with the technology, with those cutscenes that we have now, like they could tell such a good story and develop these characters with these cutscenes if you know they told a better story. Like
right,
The Last of Us is a great example. With the high res cutscenes, and you could build a whole movie with all those cutscenes, but you really learn about those characters. Um, Whereas, yeah, like now it's just you kind of forget a lot of their names from game to game, and you're not developing, the characters within the mission itself. Like I remember dude, I play campaigns for the most part like one time, yeah, like across the board for like every game because I try to complete everything that I can, and then I'm just done. I don't go back and replay games really.
yeah,
Uh, and if I do, that game speaks for itself to me. Like it's a great game, and like I played World at War once that campaign, and this was years ago, and I still remember that campaign, and
right,
I remember missions of that campaign. So I think that says a lot. And I didn't even start out playing that game. I bought World at War when Black Ops 1 came out. That's when I got it.
right.
And again, I played the mission once and I still remember that campaign. It's just like, it was good compared to the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like closing on the campaign thing, again, it was good. I would say it was better than average. Um, but the bar for that is in recent years has sunk quite a bit. There's a huge gap between games like Black Ops 6 regarding the campaign and World at War or COD 4.
Mhm.
Those obviously have the nostalgia points too, but there is a reason people go back and play those campaigns, and you don't see a lot of people going back and playing like Finest Hour,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
campaign. Yeah, it's an OG COD, but it's
Mhm,
not really all that great regarding the story. Like those games didn't have true stories like these ones did.
mhm.
Um, so it
And
can be done though. It's been
yeah,
done before.
it can. I think that bar that you're talking about has shifted though. Like
Mhm.
it's not the same bar anymore.
It's a new bar.
It is, yeah, it is a completely new bar. They
Yeah,
have multiplayer, Warzone. They got the campaign that's kind of like on the back burner essentially.
right,
And for what they put out nowadays, the campaign is like it's better than a normal COD campaign, right?
right.
Whereas back in the day, I feel like multiplayer wasn't really a thing.
Mhm.
And the campaign, every developer focused so much on the storytelling. Whereas now I'm sure they all work really hard on the campaign, but it's kind of just, all right, we got to get this out. here is a pretty decent like war story, and our personal bar now for like the COD campaigns has shifted to where, all right, are the missions itself are pretty good, is there a variety of them, and does it keep our interest like through the whole story?
Yeah,
Whereas before it was the whole story itself has to be captivating the entire time. And
right.
then we jumped to multiplayer after. So yeah, overall, I think in this era, it is a better campaign than like your typical COD campaign.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
what.
Leave it at that.
Yeah,
Solid, not amazing.
yeah. If we're compare, we can't compare it. Well, I guess we can, but like pre 2019, we're
Yeah,
not
it's
talking.
a new era. It's a new era
Yeah,
of
yeah.
COD.
COD is just so different now. But yeah.
And I was gonna say too, going into our next thing, talking about zombies, honestly, I view it the same way. I mean, there's a real difference between zombies in the modern era compared to zombies from World at War or a Black Ops 1 or 2. Like any of those eras, which were the golden years of zombies. I feel that it's very hard to be comparing in recent years just because of everything that's going on and how much the game has changed over those years. I mean, you can't forget that those games, a lot of them came out over a decade ago. It's not like
Mhm.
they came out, 3, 4 years ago. It was a long, long time ago. Um, you could directly compare this to Cold War zombies, which I do feel is probably some of the best zombies we've had in recent years.
Mhm.
But even still, that's tough. Zombies on this. I mean, where do you really want to start with this, bro? Like,
I mean, this
it's tough.
I feel like we gotta make the statement of we didn't play zombies, like, at all this year. Oh, well, no, that's like we played, like, a handful of maps, but we didn't
Less than 10 hours.
yeah, we didn't go through and try to, grind our way through the Easter egg and campaign, which honestly does kinda stink because I've heard that this zombies camp or zombies in general, like it's pretty good. Like the story itself and the Easter egg, it is good from like the previous crap that we've had.
Right.
Um, and you and I aren't zombies people. Like we are mega casuals when it comes to zombies. We're better than average in the actual game itself, but like the lore and stuff, we don't follow that as heavily. Um, yeah, and us not playing zombies, it's not even like I think it plays into why me personally I didn't play the game as much. It's not just because it was zombies itself. And if I'm not playing the game a lot, like you're not going to go into zombies solo just to grind out an Easter egg.
No, no,
Like
no chance.
so that that's what I think of zombies. I don't yeah, I don't think I can formulate a clear opinion of like how good or bad it was because we didn't go through the Easter eggs. Do I regret not playing it? Yeah, I think I do because I've seen some gameplay of like all the maps and stuff in the trailers. I'm like, this actually looks good. And it kind of looked similar to Cold War zombies. So, we just didn't play it. But that's also because I didn't like play multiplayer in general that much. Like hop on and play. So
Yeah, zombies is a tough one for us because of exactly that point. And it does go into multiplayer a little bit, but way less so where there's many times where you're not on or I'm not on and we'll still play. But playing zombies solo, like I mean,
mhm.
people know, like it just doesn't hit the same as if you're with your buddy playing it and trying to figure out the map. We did have a couple of times where we did play together when we did play solo. Um, and from those, distant memories now, it was good. Um, I will say in the shit sphere that was this year regarding the game, the zombies was not something that I heard always brought up as being a complete disaster. So that's one of the few things that I can say on this. I mean, we talked about it before. It is hard to comment on zombies this year because we did not play it a lot. And if there are people that are listening, I feel like we'd be doing a disservice trying to just pretend that we know a whole bunch about it when in reality I don't.
Mhm.
It's only from the little bit that I played, I did enjoy it. They didn't completely screw it over. It was like their new version of zombies that we've had for the past couple years. They didn't try to innovate on anything insane. The maps, like when I would see people playing them, the maps looked great this year. I would say looked great. They looked really, really good. Um, and I kind of leave it at that. I didn't see a lot of people complaining about zombies being like, "Oh, it's dead," like they completely killed it this year. Um, so I would value that quite heavily. If the zombies community is not up in arms about it, saying that it's terrible, and they're relatively satisfied with it, I would consider that a win.
Yeah, and especially coming off previous years with zombies and like, I mean, the zombies got 6 maps this year, which is that's a lot.
Yeah, there's a
6
lot.
zombie maps, and yeah,
Two at
I
launch,
don't
right?
yeah, Liberty Falls and like I don't know the name of the other one, um, but yeah, Liberty Falls is the one that you and I played, and yeah, we attempted the Easter egg like a couple times, but that's one thing. Like, I don't know the storyline, and I want to. That's my favorite part of zombies. And all these maps, like, I'm looking at the screenshot of a couple of them. They look insane. Like, they
Right.
look like really good zombies maps.
Terminus was the other one. That was a cool one too.
Yeah, yeah,
That was at launch. But yeah, the Citadel de Morts, we never played that. But that
yeah.
looks like when that came out, people were stoked for it. Like it looks sick,
It looks,
you
yeah.
know.
All these maps look good. It's just, again, like, part of it for me was it wasn't even zombies related. It's not because like I didn't even want to play zombies. It was just because I wasn't on as much.
Right, right,
Because yeah, like I was just yeah. Um, I don't know. I do like part of me like not part of me like I do regret not playing it. Like I would want to play it. It's just like it stinks because I think you and I would have really enjoyed the story of it because that's what got us through, right? Like getting to the lore and like what is actually happening. Like I don't
right.
know the storyline of this year, and
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
sure it
either.
leads into Black Ops 7.
Right,
Because
right,
we played Cold War Zombies, and it was that one map the entire time.
right. Yeah, but in Cold War Zombies though, we were really invested. Yeah, we were invested in Cold War Zombies after a
Yeah,
while
yeah,
though. Like it got really, really good.
yeah.
And I don't know if I've heard the comparison between this and Cold War Zombies,
Mhm,
but if it was there, then I'm with you on the regret side of it. It would have been really nice to be playing it more,
mhm,
um, but we for sure let zombies like fall by the wayside this year. We didn't play it as much, but I'm not gonna have that be a factor in my score where I knock against it
mhm,
or really raise it up. Like again, I've heard that it was pretty good, and it was serviceable, which for me, that's like neutral point. Like, okay, zombies were good. I did
mhm,
not hear that, oh my God, this is the best zombies that we've had, in years and years or anything like that. Which that might bring it up a bit, and I'd feel pretty shitty about giving it a review without that included. But since I've heard it's kind of, good, intermediate, I just leave it at that.
mhm. Yeah, it it could have been better, but, it's
It could have
not
been a
the
lot worse.
yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Like, it could have been like last
Vanguard.
year's. Or like, yeah, whatever those zombies were like, it wasn't round based.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They didn't do
So
any weird experimenting with, the zombie system or anything. It
mhm,
seemed like it was pretty classic to the new iteration of zombies that they have, which, people still want. And I'm one of those people. I want the classic OG zombies where you load them with a pistol. Um, Seems like those days are gone.
mhm,
So this new version that we have with loadouts, I'll take it. And the extraction,
mhm.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I think the storyline is what I miss. Like,
Yeah,
I wish we did the storyline, but again, for my part, like you said, I'm not going to include this too much into my review because we didn't really play it, and also on top of that, the it's not like I just didn't want to play zombies. It was
right,
just Black Ops 6.
right, right,
So,
right.
which I think we'll leave it at that. You and I are pretty on the same page about zombies itself.
Yeah.
What we can't talk about heavily though every year, obviously, is multiplayer.
All right, because
Multiplayer is a big one. Um,
this is going to be everybody the next hour. So
yeah, no, literally.
I'll make sure to include timestamps where just say multiplayer to the end.
Yeah,
We'll
like
jump around from topics here.
where do we even start? Like the launch of Black Ops 6 multiplayer. The big thing going into this was the Omni movement. Omni movement was the different movement added into this game where you could strafe left to right, you're always sprinting, you can sprint backwards, diagonal, all of that.
Mhm.
Um, which I will say immediately, great addition to the game. Immediately.
Yeah.
It makes COD so fluid, and it should be in every single COD moving forward.
I
And then
agree.
like the beta when we first played it, I think we all enjoyed the Omni movement. We played the maps. The maps weren't. I mean, I think just because it was new, we were like, like we don't know all the other maps. Maps were all right, right? Like, and they're really small. That's what we noticed immediately. They're very small. Babylon immediately. Skyline small, and Skyline was more of a medium, small to medium map. They said, which is insane because Skyline is a very small map.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the maps that we had at launch. I'm pretty sure they had, yes, Skyline, Babylon was in there. And then the other one that I'm looking at the images to see which one it was because
It
I
was that it was Scud, remember? Because no one liked Scud
yeah,
in the
Scud
beta.
was terrible. But it was the oh man, it was the other one that had all the trains in it. Like it had, you know what I mean? Like it had all those train cars that were just kind of laying around
Oh
and like
yeah,
the
in
oil
the woods,
tankers.
in the
Yeah,
woods.
I forget the
Yeah,
name of that map right now. I'm trying to see because there's a whole bunch of these names, but again, it has been a minute since we played it. Um, yeah, those,
derelict.
yeah,
It has to be derelict. Yeah.
probably. Yeah, those maps though, at on the beta, I remember, not being too high on them. Like they were okay. Um, they definitely were not great. Not like Black Ops 7, where playing those maps, they were good. I remember them just being kind of meh. Um, and to your point, yeah, there could have been some influence with the fact that we had the Omni movement and we're more focused on that. But I would say too, we've done this enough being able to judge these maps off the rip. We were kind of so on them. And like you were saying earlier, the Omni movement, which, I just totally blacked out on. Yeah, that was a huge selling point for the game. And I think if anything's going to be remembered about Black Ops 6, it's for sure going to be the fact that this was the game that started this whole new movement system that a lot of these Call of Duties, I believe, are going to be trying to replicate afterwards, or they're just going to be trying to build off of it. This was much needed. It was confusing at first, but we definitely got used to it. And it was a huge addition to the game. So that was a huge plus for the game. Was the fact the Omni movement was a success and it wasn't really jank or having any real problems with it from what we experienced. But
Mhm. The map, yeah, yeah. The maps.
the
They were
maps
you and I
were
are you and I are very fast players. We like small maps. These maps were too small. A lot of them were too small. And I like you and I have played COD for so long where we can tell you like if this is a good map or this is a bad map, if it's gonna work on competitive or not. Um, and a lot of these maps, very high level, they're not 3 lane maps. And you can
no.
notice immediately. It's just like a hodgepodge of stuff in the middle. There's too many like lines of sights to predict like where an enemy could come from. Like um to keep it very simple, like if you're going up to Hetty, right? On honestly, like any COD like pre 2019, you're probably gonna have maybe 3 options that you're gonna have to look at. Someone in front of you on another Hetty, someone to the right, and then someone to the left. Super high level. That's it.
Right.
Nowadays, you pull up on a heady, you got like at least 6 because of those 3 and then the elevation to the actual map now that they've added. Like you pull up to a heady, it could be a heady in front of you, it could be a balcony that you have to look up. Um, and that just doesn't make a very smooth and fluid map like pacing. It just doesn't at all. You can spawn and you die immediately because you don't know where to look. There's too many
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, on the smaller maps, like we mentioned, that was always a difficult thing to be dealing with. I mean, just in general, the map design was not really that great. They didn't have any memorable maps there that um, I was always wanting to go back and play, or trying to learn more about them. It was either that the maps were, they said, I mean, the small maps were the ones that pretty much everybody gravitated towards. People liked playing. Say Skyline, which not really like compared to Babylon. Babylon's a really small map. Skyline I thought was probably one of the better maps because it was a medium-sized map and it was
Mhm.
pretty true to that. Um, but then other maps that we ended up playing in competitive or just dealing with on the regular, like was it a red card on here or Scud or Rewind? These maps or the words with Low Town, those maps were horrible. They were just huge maps. They had so much, and in my opinion, they had way too much dead space where none of the gameplay would ever go down. And it was just like, it was a waste of time because you'd be spawning so far back on like any of those maps, and then you'd have to go and trek to get back into the fight. And then, yeah, you get gunned from God knows where, and you spawn back. And it was just a, cycle that you'd be stuck in. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, the traditional 3-lane map system was missing in this game. The overall flow on all the maps, in my opinion, it was really hard to get into on some of those bigger maps in particular. Um, on the ones that we did get to play, like when we were playing Vault or playing, like I said, Babylon. I liked Subsonic. Like those maps weren't too bad. But even some like Payback, like which was a small map, which that had the house on it, from the campaign. You know, it was like hard to get into a flow with some of those maps. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, like with the maps were so small to the point where if your shot was not on right away, it would be very, very hard to like even break even.
Yeah.
Um, and then you got to think too, skill based. Like skill based in this was insane on small maps. So if you and I are on a heater, like right in the beginning, like we get 3, 4 kills in a row, for the most part, we're probably going to break even, if not like go slightly above positive in these games because we're playing against people similar to our skill level. Um, and yeah, a lot of these maps, like we're pushing like 100 plus engagements because of how small the map is and how fast you just run into players. Like with Skyline, the fact that Skyline was arguably one of the better maps in this game says something about the maps. I'm not going to say Skyline was completely trash. Like it wasn't. It just suit this game a bit more than the other maps that we had. Like I would play Skyline over Protocol like all day. Protocol was a big map, but there was a lot of dead space. It wasn't 3 lanes. If you classify that as 3 lanes, it's like three massive lanes.
It's like three
And
separate maps.
yeah, and again, the elevation, like Protocol, Skyline, what was the other red card that you mentioned? There's
Vault.
so much yeah, Vault. There's so much elevation in all those maps. And I'm not saying like elevation is bad in CODs, but there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. In a lot of these maps, yeah, it looks cool and stuff, but if I'm like on red card, for example, if I'm just like running down mid lane and then someone's like on the heady of the escalators, like peeking me, they're gonna see me and like I'm focusing on them. But then there's a balcony up top where someone can shoot me too. It's like you're always gonna run into an issue where if you're a faster player, you're gonna run and die immediately. You're gonna run
Yeah.
and then die, run and die because there are too many options to like look at.
Yeah. The idea of having a mid-sized map was just not relevant in this game. Like it was either that you were playing on these small, almost like 24/7 playlist kind of maps, or you were playing on these huge maps.
With
You know,
elevation.
yeah,
I think I need to add that. The elevation
yeah.
in COD is just not
Well,
like
I mean, like, and
I don't like it.
exactly like to that, like, I think an example of that is red card. Like, like you red card, you've got the whole street that's off to the side there, and you've got like there's a little stage that's there. Then you go up on top of like the stairs, which goes into the mid realm, then over this like, or you go up the stairs, and yeah, you're in the mid area of the map. Over the mid area, you remember there was that whole stairwell that leads up that you can oversee half the
Yeah,
map.
that's
Then there was
what
a
I'm saying.
heady on the other side of it. Then
Yeah,
there's the escalator going down there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
there's the whole grand. It's like, what the fuck? There's
Too
way
many
like
options. Like if I'm
way
yeah.
too much going on, and that would be a map where like if you were playing pubs and you dropped 20 kills, like man, you had the grace of God on your side there because like the fact you could even find 20 people on that map in a match was impressive. You know,
Mhm,
it just again it was either super fast because the maps were small or it was just painfully slow. And yeah, there were the pacing because of that was completely off.
mhm.
You know, and I think that's why a lot of people like Skyline because that was a relatively medium-sized map, you know, and even that had that whole to your elevation thing and had that whole underground section that you could go through, which I didn't really mind. Like that map, it was okay with it.
Mhm.
And I know it's not exactly what you're talking about, but on like Red Card, for example, I mean, that was a prime example where for me that was just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not
Well,
like that map
yeah,
at all.
that's what I'm saying, like, if you're in the middle of red card, like, you have the escalators looking in front, and then you have the balcony, like,
Yeah,
overlooking you. I shouldn't have that many options to worry about, like,
no.
players. Where Skyline, to your point, is like a medium-sized map, but, like, if you're on the piano side and you go up the heady, up the staircase, right? You have the catwalk to worry about. You have the opposite side of the roof to worry about. You have the bottom bedroom and the pool to worry about. You can see all those points, and you can get gunned from anywhere.
Yeah.
That's too many options. It just shouldn't be like that. And some people might not understand this elevation concept that I'm talking about. Like, it's not a concept. It's just a thing in like elevation in Call of Duty should be very, very limited. All the good maps do not have elevation in them like that, where it's all throughout the whole map. Like if you're looking at Black Ops 7, for example, the beta maps, I'm trying to think of like Forge, for example, the one with the spinning like middle,
Yeah.
with the statue. The only elevation in that is normal from building to building. That's it. And when you spawn into those, not spawn, when you're in, you know, the room for each window, you're looking straight ahead. You're either
Right.
straight ahead or they're below you. That's it. It's not like, oh, they're coming from here, 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 and here too.
Yeah, you could see the difference in map design from when we played the beta and talking about the excitement of those maps compared to Black Ops 6's, you know, map design philosophy is way different.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, that's why already Black Ops 7, those maps, I'm like, these are better than pretty much all of the Black Ops 6 maps that we had, you know, because of those things, because they just made it more simple. I think Black Ops 6 tried too hard with the maps to make them these, you know, big environments um, that, you know, when you look at them, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're great looking maps, but when you actually go and play them, it doesn't really work out.
Mhm.
And especially too with a point you brought up earlier, which was the whole skill based thing. You know, skill based in this game, it was very strong in pubs. It was definitely not ideal. I didn't notice it as bad as the Black Ops 7 beta at the beginning. But yeah, this was another year of the skill based era of COD where for sure you're playing a couple of games, you're doing well, and then you get thrown into the mix and you have to really try. That did not help the issue with the maps at all.
Yeah, I think in this you would play 3 games, your 4th game, you're getting cooked. Like you're
Yeah,
you're playing really, really good players right after.
right.
And the yeah, like, the maps itself, they looked really good, like you said. They're visually appealing. I think the problem is, um, you can clearly tell all these maps were ripped from Warzone,
Yeah,
where
yeah, exactly.
these maps were areas in Warzone, and they just took them out and be like, "Let's make these as maps," instead of, "Let's start from scratch and focus on, you know, how we made maps originally." 3-lane maps, and they're all individuals, not, oh, here's one big giant map for a battle royale. Let's just pull different sections from them and say, all right, this is a brand new map now.
Yeah, it never works out when they do it that way, right? It always is when these teams come in and do their own stuff, like to the MW3 comparison, they more or less just kind of copy pasted a lot of those maps from MW2, the OG one, into that. Um, but then the originals that they did were great. Like they
Mhm,
if they had more of those maps, they would have been really successful. Um, this game was kind of the opposite. Like they had the original maps that were not that great, and then they did the remasters, which they were pretty good. Like they remastered, I believe. It was a handful of maps that were from a variety of like other CODs. Remember the last one that they did. Well, it wasn't Combine, but it was from Black Ops 3. It was the one where that clip of Illy where he wall runs from like one side, like the barn, and he wall runs like mid map all the way to the
oh,
other house there.
Fringe,
Yeah, yeah,
Fringe,
like they remastered those, and those maps were great. Like from what I am like in playing them, they were good remasters. The problem is it just came too late in the game.
mhm,
I think those remasters, they were needed season 2.
mhm.
Like season 1 came out, they're like, let's see how it goes. People were not a fan of the maps, and that definitely took them down. I think they could have done a lot better if they had had those remasters come out a bit earlier, and especially centered, like, or included them in the competitive scene. That would have helped out a bit.
Yeah, those remastered maps would have helped out a ton in the beginning of the game with maps that they already had, because you can just tell that those maps that were remastered, they're good for a reason and fan favorites for a reason. They're all 3 lane maps, and then
Yeah,
throwing 3 lane maps into these maps that they designed for Warzone, you could tell the difference of pace and flow immediately. Even if you're just a very casual player and you just hop on every now and then, you notice immediately.
yeah, for sure.
And yeah, but on top of the maps, so regular maps, there are those no, I'm not gimmicky, but like the 2v2 like face off maps.
Yep.
Those you and I always enjoy face off. We just like doing like the 2v2s, the duo stuff, because it's just a fun way to end the night, after playing ranked or like going really hard, hop into 2v2s and knowing that we only have to rely on each other and you got one life, clutching 1v2s in this are like always fun. I feel like this is where honestly most developers they do hit the mark of all right, these 2v2 maps, 3v3s, they're actually good. Like they work,
Yeah.
which, you know, cool brownie points, but we need to carry that over to the main maps,
Right.
cuz yeah, this satisfies like you and I. I think back to maybe it was Vanguard or MW2. Um where no, yeah, I think it was Vanguard. You and I lived in Champ Hill like the entire time,
Oh yeah.
and honestly, I think if we just played Champ Hill through the entire season
That's how we
without
got through the game.
we would have been fine, but we couldn't because they took out the playlist every now
Yeah,
and then.
that was so
So
stupid.
I will say the 2v2 maps, I did like them. They're crazy and hectic, but they're fun, and that game mode should just always be in there.
Yeah, I would agree. And along with that, like you're saying, not giving them too much hype. I can't look back on like the previous years where I'm like, oh, the 2v2s were terrible. Like they were always good,
Yeah.
because again, it's like you and me are doing it. It's on small maps. Like there's not that much thought they have to give it to these. Like they can only make the map so big.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, those are always fine for me. I like that they add that in there and they kept it in there, which was good. But yeah, compared to other years where they just go and they scrap it after like a little bit. They have
Mhm.
2v2s and then they're like, let's go and do 4v4s. Like, brother, fucking get out of here. Like, no one wants that. Um, but yeah, with those maps, like adding them in, yeah, it does pad it a little bit. And yeah, with the remasters that they had this year were good. They did do them justice. I just feel that they came a little bit too late into the life cycle of the game, and especially for the competitive side too. I mean, we don't have to talk too much about like watching the game competitively because it's not really like a massive thing. But the maps, like relating it to that, some of those remasters that came in would have been really good for competitive. Like Fringe, for example, would have been a good one to have in there. Um, but just because of when it came in, it was like, they were going into, I think there was like the last major before champs or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was just no way that they're going to put that map in there. Now, if that map came out in maybe season 1 or 2, then there could have been a chance, and it definitely would have helped competitive because we said it this year in particular, watching those maps like frequency and watching like all just over, it wasn't a frequency, I'm blacking out.
Vault.
Watching those, yeah, vault, watching vault over and over again, seeing those maps, like I got sick and tired of watching those on competitive. Same with that or red card, like, or no, the ones
Yeah.
thing was protocol. Like
Yeah.
the map pool was, because of the maps that they did, the map pool was real limited.
Yeah. It was Vault, Protocol, Red Card, Skyline, and then
Yeah,
they threw Rewind like towards the end again, and that was like the game changer map, which is crazy, just because it was another map to watch for us.
yeah,
But yeah, like watching competitive. It's always fun to watch competitive, but this year it was very much like on autopilot, right?
for
It was the
sure.
same maps over and over, and in the beginning, it's all right, because people
Right.
are still learning the game. When you get to Major 4 and it's the same fucking maps,
Oh, yeah,
and
you're spent.
the strat is the same. Like every team has the same strategy. Everyone knows how to play these maps, and it's only 3 to 4 of them that's being picked every time. Vault Protocol Red Card, Vault Protocol Red Card, and we would have like back to back protocols, back to back vaults. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna just see this over and over and over again. And yeah,
Right.
that's what we did. We only saw that through the whole season.
And the experience wasn't that much better playing it versus watching it, you know? It was
Yeah,
the same kinda deal when you were gonna be playing in ranked and you play those maps, and you're like, "Bro, I don't need to be playing this map again." Like, you just
dude.
had,
Yeah.
like, a gritty rewind, and then they're like, "You wanna play rewind?" I'm like, "Dude, no."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
give me something else.
MW2 and MW3 ranked was better than this. Like the map pool itself was better than this COD.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
would agree.
that like says it. Like I had a lot of fun playing MW2 ranked, and we didn't even have red dots in that. But the
Yeah.
map pool itself was better than this.
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely helped a lot.
yeah,
Um So shifting off the maps, going to the gameplay, which we touched on at the beginning with the Omni movement, was a huge part of the gameplay itself. Um, I would say too, like, I put on here, and people who play the game know, says weight of the game. This game had a good feeling to it. It had a really, really good feeling to it. I enjoyed actually like holding, like playing with the character. It wasn't it wasn't like an unbelievably slow game, like I felt in past years. This was definitely a faster COD, which I like. Um, the fucking tax sprint was still in this game,
mhm,
though. We hate that. Thank God we're gone with that. So that was not ideal. But that for sure made this game feel very, very quick. And with the movement too, what you were able to do, um, it was, if you were like a submachine gun player like myself, this was a super flashy year. You could be just, if you were really good, you could be diving and doing insane stuff, and having a blast with it. And again, I felt the game itself was really fun to play.
yeah. No, I completely agree with you. The gameplay itself was really good, especially if you're a sub player. It was really fun to run subs on this game
Yeah,
itself. And I was telling you like before we were playing because I was going over like all the ratings that we did for like previous CODs. Um, it's like MW3. MW3, I guarantee you would have been so much better if they weren't on the original MW2 maps. Like
yeah,
if they designed their own maps for that game, it would have been great. Black Ops 6, if you took this game and got rid of all the maps and like designed completely new maps, it would be so much better. And that just proves the point. Like, no matter how good the game is, the maps will weigh so heavily on the game because I think anyone that plays COD, you will take Black Ops 6 over like MW2 any day or
yeah,
MW3 or like Vanguard even, you know, but the maps hurt like so much of the gameplay. Like I loved like flying around in this game. And honestly, like getting a triple or a quad feed in this game, like it was so satisfying. Like getting those kills, you know, it didn't it didn't feel like, well, what's the word? Like it was satisfying to get all those kills in a row.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was given to you,
Yeah.
you know? Did you think that this game was easy or hard?
I mean, like it's like a mix, you know. I think it's the skill based was like throws you off. You know, I think the concept of like the rotations and everything where it was like completely fine in this game. I wouldn't say it was easy, but I feel like most of this game I was going like barely positive because I just kept running at people because it was so fast. So I don't know. I mean, there are times where I ran into like complete demons that were just like, "Oh, dive here, dive off there," but I felt like I was doing too much too because of that. And I'm at the point in COD though, and like I know you are too, where it's like I'm just gonna run and hit the hill until like something works, and like I'm playing for the win. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many times I die. Like if I need to be baited by my teammates over and over, I don't care. I'm just gonna run. Shout out
Yeah.
Reach Vivid because that's exactly what he does.
Um, yeah, this I agree with you. It is a bit of a difficult question to answer because I felt that I was good on this game for sure. It was definitely not my best COD, but this is also weird because of the like skill based stuff that's come along where you do feel like you're trash compared to how you actually are. And most people feel that even if you are someone who is a really, really good player, you could still get that. Um, but yeah, the way that like with the movement and with the way of the maps, it definitely changed my play style a bit where I was rushing a lot more and just trying to get involved in the action quickly. So this was not a high KD game for me. Like in past years, where I may be like, at a 1-6 or like, I can't remember where I was on I think on Cold War. I might have been like right at a 2 or something like that, which was insane for how long we played that game.
Mhm.
This was not that. this was this was way more like just bashing your head into a wall, trying to run and get as many kills or try to get like a 3 piece or something. Um, but yeah, the game itself I felt was really really fun. Again, if it had different maps, it would have been much better. I put on here as well saying, did it make you want to play more? That's a tough one. It's like a yes and no. I enjoyed it, like going from match to match, just playing it and learning and getting better, but at the cost of having to do it on maps that I didn't enjoy and didn't really want to be playing much more. That's where the struggle kind of came in.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? When you're when you're just playing the same maps over and over. When the gameplay itself is fun. Like
Yeah.
there are plenty of times where I would watch the CDL and I'm like, I want to go play this game. And I would hop on, fry, because you get that you always get a boost anytime you watch the CDL, then you come and play pubs. Yeah, like you always do. So
Right.
that was good, but then it would just shift so quickly. Like going from red card where I play a bit more like slower methodical, playing like off angles, red card would work out for me fine. And then
Right.
I speed up a little bit more on like Skyline, for example. And I had good games on Skyline, whatever, but it just it wasn't the same. Like I don't know how to explain it. I
Right.
felt like this game I was just playing and just bashing my head in to like get the hill and you know, try to win more than actually do well in the game because I just knew I was gonna die so many times, so it didn't matter,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah, I share the same sentiment with it. Especially too with when playing like going towards the meta or the weapons that were in there. I've always been one of these people where when I find the best guns, whether it be 2 guns or maybe 5 at the most, I really just stick to those weapons and I don't go much beyond that. I know you don't do this. You tend to try like a lot of different guns throughout the course of the game, so you could probably speak to it a bit more than I can. Um, but I thought that that was a good thing with this game too, where I didn't see people constantly just using the best guns because there was such a gap to them. in their ability. Like, for the ARs, like the main guns I remember in like when it came to competitive at a time was using the Ames or the Krig. People did use the Model L as a pretty well-known gun, but like that was kind of it. It was those three, and then after that, most people just stuck to the. I think it was just the Ames, right? That's what people were using, not the Krig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then when it came to the subs, it was pretty much the Jackal. Like that's what everybody used. Um, but playing in pubs, everything else that they had on there, like they had the C9. I'm pretty sure that was one of the other subs that was in there. They had the
Yeah.
other one that was like the PP90 kind of a vibe as well.
Mhm.
Um, those subs weren't too bad. There was a good variety of guns in there, and then with the DLC guns that they added as well, which thankfully, from what I saw, none of them were a complete broken mess. Like that fateful year with the LC10,
Yeah.
which we don't talk about. um, this game did provide quite a bit of variety regarding the guns, and they were all pretty good. There were no guns in there that were way better than every other gun, and there were no guns in there that were just completely worthless and not using, which is always a good sign. It creates variety.
Yeah. I mean, outside of um like all the newly added weapons based on the seasons, I mean, like the subs I can definitely speak on. Like I got the subs all gold, which I'm pretty sure I did. Well, it's either I definitely got them all gold and I think I got a couple diamond. But like I enjoyed using all the subs. All the subs were fun to use. Yeah, the Jackal was the most balanced sub, I will say.
Yeah,
Um, but I get since it's the most balanced sub, I guess you can argue it is the best sub in the game. But like the C9 was really good. The KSV was like a mini version of the AK-74U. Like
yep,
it shot so fast. And like I enjoyed the KSV like a ton.
right.
Um, it just had a bit more recoil, but the fire rate was a lot higher. And then the Tonto, like that was a very slow SMG. The fire rate was, but it killed so fast because of the damage. Um, and then yeah, the ARs, like you said, it was mainly the aims. And the beginning it was the XM4, but the XM4 like everyone GA'd immediately because that gun's just insane.
Yeah,
And
that gun's pretty fucking good.
the XM4 is definitely the best AR in the game. Like,
Yeah,
but we
I
don't
just
know.
pulled the list up here and I remembered it. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. The XM4 was GA'd immediately in competitives, and we just follow competitive.
Mhm.
Uh, but one weapon that I will say in ARs that people didn't use a lot was the AS Val. That
Yep.
one. That was the immediate silenced AR. That thing is fucking insane. Like
Yeah. That was the
I
last gun you got at 55.
Yeah, I used it all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's so good when you have a good build on it, and I used it a ton. I have it gold. I like trying other weapons, because it really started in Vanguard. To be honest, actually, yeah, Vanguard because Vanguard and Cold War. I've always experimented with weapons because I would try to go for gold or whatever, but I would just get nukes with these random ass classes, and I'm like, how can I get a nuke with these classes, but then I can't with my main class? Like it's so much harder. Um, and yeah, with the Val, like I went on an insane kill streak with that thing, and it's just so random because you would never think a weapon like that you could go on a kill streak on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Th
I no, I was gonna say I think that the game overall, it had a good variety of weapons in terms of AR, subs, shotguns, like even snipers and stuff.
Yeah, and like from us, that's how we view it. I remember when we had Sam on the podcast and he was talking about like one of the guns he was trying to get gold, like one of the snipers.
Mhm.
Like there you go. That guy is like as casual gets. And they're over here using like a whole bunch of variety of weapons there just because they want to try it out or they want to go for getting gold, which I think that is something that always keeps the weapon grind going and people
Mhm.
excited to be using all of them is if they have good camos that people want to grind for. Um, you know, I think this year, like with the was it the dark ether or dark matter camo that they had, like it was a good look. Same thing with the gold and the diamond. They did a nice job designing it, so they'd give you some incentive to be going for those. And yeah, if you're gonna be doing stuff like that, you gotta make sure that all the guns are relatively competent. Like having doing that grind and having a gun that is completely dog shit just kills the whole fun of it.
Mhm.
You still want to be, doing relatively okay with them. Which, yeah, kind of says all of that on the guns. I obviously like the guns that I use, like when I was playing with a Model L or using the Krig. Even though the Krig is like a DLC weapon technically from season one. Those guns are really good. That Jackal, that'll always be in my memory as one of those insane subs using throughout the entire time. It was good since day one. And people went and modified it a little bit, but when I went from the from the C9 to that gun, I mean, it was over. Like the
Yeah. You
C9
notice
is not
immediately.
even, yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
even compare to the Jackal. And I never really got tired of using that gun. It just always felt good.
Mhm.
So even someone like myself, where I'm super closed on my options for guns, um, I did not get tired of using those guns. They always felt good to me.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, they just had a good variety. I mean, all the weapons in this game are they're pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like the perks and stuff. Perks for the most part are same old in each COD. I will say. I feel like the nitty gritty you can get into it is in when it comes to competitive. You know, for the most part, I think the everyday person is going to have a couple classes, change a few perks like here and there, but for you and I, we kind of just stick to a couple like 3 perks. We stick with that. And then I personally change a couple of them depending on like different scenarios. But the perks in this were, whatever. The gameplay itself speaks more than like the actual perks.
Yeah, I do like what you said. If there's a couple of situations, like depending on modes in particular, that we're playing, I'll change up my perks. But I don't know, man. Ever since they got rid of the whole pro perk thing,
Hmm.
like from previous games, well, mainly like from MW2 and 3, I don't really see a reason why you should bother trying the other perks, you know? It,
Hmm.
like, didn't give you a reason, and none of the CODs have. They've never given you a reason to try those out other than just for the sole sake of experimenting.
Hmm.
It's like, "Oh, well, you can try this if you'd like." Um, but for me, I don't really give a damn about that. It's the same with the camo grind. It's like I wanna have this completionist mentality
Hmm.
where I finish it, and when it came to the pro perks, I mean, dude, it pissed you off if you just saw that blob for stopping
Yeah.
power compared to the star for stopping power pro. You were like, oh, dude, like I gotta use that. I mean, you're an idiot if you didn't use stopping power, but like
Hmm.
compared to like danger close,
Hmm.
or like sit rep pro.
Hmm.
Like those were perks that I would have never used. And if they were in the game today, and I'm like some versions of them, of course, have made it through. I don't use them because I don't care about them. Like,
Hmm.
I just stick to my main ones that I find, and I'm like, "Okay, that's it. Like, we're done."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't give the perks any more thought.
Hmm.
Um, if they wanted to maybe have more variety with the perks and have people trying them out more, I
Hmm.
think that pro perk system, which I don't know why they stopped doing that. I thought that was such a cool idea.
Hmm.
I think if they went back to that, then a lot of people would there would be more to talk about regarding the perks,
Hmm.
But instead of us being like, "Yeah, they're good."
Yeah. I mean, like it's just all like your play style. I mean, like, look,
Yeah,
you don't change your perks that often, and you stick to the main weapons. That's you.
I roll.
I want a variety of weapons. I want to experiment and test. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And the other thing with perks, it's just like that's why I'm the person that you have 3 classes, I have 12
Right,
of the same thing.
right.
It's just how we go about the game. Like I can't if there's a hill, there's fucking nades going everywhere. Well, no,
Yeah,
it's not. It's all stuns. I'm popping engineer like or tack mask. I'm not running like I have a perk with tack mask and then 2 of the same perks.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I can't stand that. Like I can't stand when someone else has an advantage over me because of XYZ and they're using
yeah,
the same weapon as me. That bothers me a lot. And if I'm running into a hill, I'm always gonna have flak on. Like I will always have flak on. But the moment that I get hit with a stun or something, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm switching my class to attack so I can get the advantage over that other person.
Right, right. Yeah, I guess it just comes down to, like you're saying, the way that you think of the game and play the game.
Mhm,
Um, and you could find more of the imbalances if you're really trying to go through every single perk. Where myself, I find the best ones and that like suit my play style, and I kind of stick to that. Yeah, granted, there will be some variety there. But I limit myself a lot when it comes to
mhm,
that. But with the perks that they did give, there were no perks that were completely out of balance, at least like later on into the game. Of course, they do all the tweaking and everything at first to make sure that they are balanced, but the perks themselves were pretty balanced throughout. There was no like, I don't want to say like a perk meta, because there was, but there was like no penalty to not using those, where you were going to be severely at a disadvantage if you went against like the main meta. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah, 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 and, like,
Which is always good.
the the one thing I will say, like, there's dead silence in the game, you always have to put that on, especially in search. Like,
Yeah,
I cannot
yeah,
stand people in search and destroy that are not using dead silence, and
yeah.
I
That's
can hear
crazy.
like, alright, I mean, and then you can't complain if you die. I'm like, "That's your fault."
Right,
Like,
right,
you
right,
can't make plays if you don't have dead silence on.
right.
Yeah, or yeah, it's just situations like that. Like, when I hear someone complain about, "Oh, man, this stun," I'm like, "You didn't have tack on. That's your fault."
Right. Right, right.
Switch.
It's like now if
Either
you're getting hit
switch.
with that and you still have it on, like, then you have
Yeah,
tack on. It's like,
like
okay, now tack
like
mask needs to be boosted up a little
yeah,
bit, or stun's
like,
gotta be nerfed.
it's either you switch or you shoot better.
Right,
There's only 2 options.
right.
So, yeah, yeah, you need to play. I'm a big believer of playing scenarios in the right way, and if you have, you know, the right perks in the right situation, it'll benefit you.
Well, you'd experience that way more when you were going to ranked. Like if you're playing in ranked play,
Mhm,
that's kind of a given that, yeah, of course. I'm talking about my sheltered self with my perks. Yeah, I'm not a
mhm,
fucking idiot. Like I wouldn't be going into S&D, and I
mhm.
don't have dead silence on. Like, of course, you got to have some stuff built
Yeah.
for that.
Well, I've already
Uh,
called you out for not having if you don't have dead silence, I'm like, "Dude, put it on
yeah,
now."
yeah, you got to
'Cause
wake
you're
up.
not
Like,
the way that you play, like, you can't make plays if you don't
oh
have
yeah,
dead
it's
silence.
impossible. It's
Yeah.
impossible if you don't do that. And yeah, like with ranked, if you're going to be doing stuff like that, or I mean, you need to be aware of all that stuff. You need to
Mhm,
be more in tune with, which perks are going to work for certain modes and situations, and have to adjust that way. So the perks become way more under a microscope when it comes to ranked. In pubs, I think that the most people playing it really don't care what they throw at you, but when it comes to ranked,
mhm,
it's a lot more specific, because that could be like, that's going to cost you SR, and people are
mhm.
trying to go through and be in the top 250 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So they have to have all of that figured
yeah.
out.
I just carry that mentality from ranked into pubs. I don't like losing. So, it's
Well,
like
I
I
don't think you yeah, I don't think it, for us, I don't think you can switch that off. I think you're
yeah,
always in that mode.
yeah,
There's the people who don't touch ranked, the people like we were saying who don't like to be challenged.
mhm, yeah.
There's those they have no concept of like the next understanding
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
perks, you know what I mean? So they just
Mhm.
live in la la land
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
I understand that. It's just when, yeah, my teammates aren't using the right things, I'm like and then they're not using the right things, and then they complain about it. I can't, like, shut up about that. I'm like, "Dude,
Oh yeah,
I have to say something because it's
they got
your
to learn
take
one way.
take accountability. It's
Yeah.
your fault, not anyone
Yeah.
else's. Just change it.
They
Go
need they
learn the
need to be
perks."
educated. I'm like, dude, there's this perk here. It's called dead silence. Have you ever heard of it, bro?
Yeah, got it. If you don't put dead silence on, fine,
Yeah.
then win your gunfights.
Right. Or they're like, dude, I'm getting stunned every 5 seconds. Like, dude, have you heard of tac mask? Have you heard of
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
This
There are
is a
these
perk
other
that you
perks
can use
that'll
to
help.
yeah. Right. Um, but I touched on there quickly going with ranked,
Mhm.
which we gotta talk about ranked. Because this is gonna segue into definitely like the biggest
Big
gripe with this game.
Mhm,
No doubt. But before we get to that, talk about ranked as a whole. Um, the ranked play system, this has been, I guess, like I say criticized is the right word, but people have looked at it over the years and saying if it really needs a change, regarding like the SR and how you earn it and all this stuff. And I'm sure we've talked about that in our previous reviews. Um, I've always been on the side of, and I'm sure I could probably find myself saying the same thing last year and the year prior, where I don't mind the system that they have in place regarding it. I think it's fine. I like the ranks that you end up going throughout. It makes completely logical sense. There have been some additions that they made, or I believe they did with like people who leave the game and how that
Mhm.
affects your SR loss. Um, and I think they were trying to be a bit more transparent this year with how you gain SR and lose SR, like how that's actually calculated, which is good. But I think the rank play experience as a whole, like when it comes to just what they put on the table, was not too bad. I thought it was fine. I don't really see much to be innovated on from year to year. I think it is, a pretty solid baseline. They could, of course, be adding in a lot more rewards for what you end up doing. Like if you're going to be hitting a certain rank, um, and maintaining that throughout a season, I think you should get a bit more than just some kind of lame calling card and an emblem. Um, I think they should make it more worthwhile for your time for putting in, and obviously winning the games to be able to be wherever you are. Um, that's one of the only criticisms that I think I have with ranked in general is they just don't give you enough of a reason to be grinding it, other than for your own motivation.
Yeah, ranked it the system itself, I think it's fine for, you know, any new person that's jumping into ranked. It's very inviting to come in.
Yeah,
If you're you want that challenge, it's very welcoming to jump into it and understand what, you know, division you're in. And the most important thing to me is a transparency of like how you gain and lose SR, like the break. Like I just like data, so I the more that they can give, the better. Like give me a calculation or like stat breakdown of how did I gain this 50 SR in this match. Like it's because like objective time, like uh kills, like KD, whatever, and like overall impact of the game. And it breaks down that 50 to like you got 15 SR here because of objective time, but you got 30 SR here because of the impactful play you made at XYZ. You know,
right,
I want to see that. And then vice versa of like when I lose, like how come you lost 20 but I lost 30? Like what did I do that made me lose more and then obviously lose the game because you know maybe a play I made wasn't the right play and whatever the math behind that calculated as like yeah you lost like 15 SR from that because of this dumb play you made. Then you can
right,
like you can go back and look like oh, okay I'm not losing the game because I'm like double neg or whatever. It's because I made a stupid plays like throughout the game.
right,
Um, and you
right.
can look at that and see that. And I'm definitely with you on the rewards. Like they gotta give better rewards for grinding. I mean, if the game's really good, people in ranked are just gonna grind it no matter what. Uh, because they want that next level and next division you get into. But it would help if you got some like really cool rewards and like skins and stuff because you moved on to this next level. Um, and then again, I'm just gonna advocate like the rank system's fine. I just wish there was a competitive setting of where like we can enter a series or like a practice series, like a best of 5 or something like that. I want that like badly because then anybody in ranked is trying to mimic the CDL.
Right.
Put like a competitive playlist in rank that's like jump into a series and like if you quit, I know the whole worry is quitting in that, right? Like what happens if you lose one person and dude, you're in game 5, round 11, someone
Right.
lags out or like someone like they just rage quit like into map 3 and then
Yeah.
it just ends a series. Like yeah, I think you and I would be completely pissed if that happened, but it's like we wouldn't lose SR for it. That person that leaves should lose SR, but we should also be incentivized and like for playing that long. You know what I mean? Like we should get
Yeah, for
something
sure.
out of it. But that's a whole separate conversation. But I that's something that they should add in, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a huge addition to it, and it would be an innovation on ranked, which we haven't really had in the past years. It's really just been the same kind of thing that's come along. And I'm not complaining about that. I think the system is fine in that aspect. There's other parts of it that need to be fixed. And before going to the whole cheating thing, which completely
Mhm.
fucking destroyed this game, um, our talk before about the maps and the modes. Um, it was not that great this year. Rank play regarding that, like the system, who cares? But what you were actually playing, it was mediocre. I wasn't really enthralled with any of the maps and mode combinations that they ended up putting out. And to our point earlier regarding the maps, that had a huge impact on it. Hard point is hard point no matter what. And same thing with search and destroy. Um, Control, we have found out that control is not going to be the third mode for Black Ops 7, which a lot of people I think are happy about that
Mhm.
because control has been worn down to a nub at this point. We've had it.
R.I.P. Man. I
Yeah, I
loved
mean
Control.
they yeah, hey, look what they massacred my boy.
They did.
They had a good mode and they wrote it until the wheels literally fell off of it. These maps with control just it didn't feel the same. It didn't really work all that great. We had some moments for sure in ranked when
Mhm.
control in general that were high moments, but the lack of
And then
map variety with it, it definitely it
yeah,
definitely hurt the experience.
which it's not the game mode. It's the damn maps. The maps killed this game mode.
You got to
Again,
design maps around control.
exactly. Yeah, and you have to design maps for like the game itself. Like you can't just rip them off of like bigger maps.
Yeah,
And it's just I still like Control. Yeah, I can admit that it wasn't good for competitive in the past couple of years. It's just it didn't work because of the
right.
maps. And yeah, it did get boring at times, like watching teams like stomp on like other teams, but I always had fun playing it in ranked, like all the time. Like in pubs, I always had a fun time, even though again, people just didn't like the game mode.
Right.
It's gonna be Black Ops 7. We're gonna be playing it still. Like I just enjoy control too much, but yeah, the new game mode that they're adding is override, and it's essentially capture the flag. We're gonna be playing that too. I enjoy all those game modes, but man, they killed control because of the damn maps. Every single developer killed that mode. Treyarch
Yeah.
had a good thing, and then it got fucked up.
They had too much of a good thing, and
Yeah.
then that was the end of it. Um, but yeah, those honestly, those all get superseded by the fact that there were cheaters.
Mhm.
Okay. And we have to tread lightly on this one here with our review because people are going to listen to our score at the end and be like, what the fuck are you talking about with what
Mhm.
we're saying? We did not experience this. Okay. But you can't ignore it regarding what everybody else, a vast majority, particularly PC players, had to deal with on this game, which was the brutal hacking that just constantly went on and was not resolved. This was honestly the killer for a lot of people with this game and for us too. Which, going back to what we said at the beginning, these other reasons, this was definitely part of it. But the hacking in rank play was probably the worst it's been in recent years. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Mm.
was it was pretty bad. We didn't experience this because again, we're on console and we've stayed that way and we're gonna stay that way for a while. Especially after this whole bullshit went down. Like, there's not really a reason to be switching to PC COD anytime soon. Um, it I think we maybe had a couple of instances, if that. When I mean a couple, literally two instances of people hacking against us. But for a lot of other people, it was nearly like every other game that they were playing. They were, especially the people who were going to be up into the diamond and crim. And of course, like the people who were up in the top 250 iridescent, forget about the game was nearly unplayable. It was like, let's see if we can beat hackers tonight on
Mhm.
rank play. That became the story, which, it was awful. Yeah, I hated seeing it. I hated reading about it on Twitter. That was everybody talked about was just the hacking. All our favorite streamers and players, they were all complaining about it. It definitely killed the vibe of the game, no
Mhm.
doubt.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, any hacking in any game is gonna kill the game. Like hacking just it needs to be taken care of. I as a matter of fact, I think the hackers they need to be taken
Yes.
care of like
What IDs do you
physically.
have, Justin?
Physically. I cannot say them on the podcast for legal reasons. uh
All of a sudden, we're down to 3 star.
um but yeah, I mean it's just it's really hard to rate a game when you look at the other qualities of the game and then you throw in hacking. Hacking will ruin a game, but I think there is a world where you not that you like completely ignore that piece. It's just the developer they do have control over it, but only to a certain point. Like I will
Yeah,
say, it's like us. We didn't experience it because we're on console. How about PC players just come back on console? Fuck PC. Come to console. That less hacking. But
right.
I'm not defending any of these developers at all for the amount of hackers coming in, but they know that hackers are going to come into the game. They're doing, I would hope, everything that they can. And you get rid of one hacker, like 10 more pop up. It's always going to happen. It will always happen. There are other developers that don't make COD. Like they have a really good anti cheat. COD needs to learn from that. But when we go and rate this game, it is going to be very much like, yes, we're including the hackers, but you have to think of the bigger picture of the game itself relative to like the other games and like without the hackers. I mean, like, dude, I'm just gonna say, would you consider this game like worse than Vanguard when Vanguard didn't have as many cheaters, but this game was infested with cheaters? Like, you're gonna rank Vanguard higher than Black Ops 6?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, whether you guys agree or not, that's fine. Like, let us know down below. But going into why, like, you played like way more than me this year. Like, personally, like this year, least amount of COD I've played. Like, honestly, I want to say since like IW.
Definitely since BO4.
No, since IW because I didn't play IW.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like legit. Like I did. This was and MW 2019, but like we still played COD. We just went
Right,
to
right.
BO4.
We're just not that god.
Yeah, like honestly, I want to say probably like AW.
Yeah.
Like, and I still put in time. I think I'm like 600 something, level 600 something.
Yeah.
Not level 600 something. I'm like 6 prestige something like
Yeah.
that. And big part of me stopping was like life got in the way, but like that's whatever. But I truly like mentally, I was so burnt out from going on the feed and looking at how bad the game was. And my
Right.
personal opinion was the game wasn't that bad. The gameplay was fun. Like I enjoyed the game, but anytime I opened up X, it's people complaining about hacking. It's people complaining about how bad Treyarch is, like a beloved developer, how bad these maps are. Like you don't want to play the same thing over and over again. All our favorite streamers, content creators, they're just like dogging on the game because of all the hackers, and the maps, like and rightfully so. While I still enjoyed the gameplay itself, and it just sucked, and I got burnt out of it. I'm like, man, I sign on. The most fun that I would have was like after a major, or like watching a major, then signing on and playing, and that
Yeah.
wore off so quick because I'm playing the same 4 maps
Right.
over and over,
Right.
and then it's like, okay, I then I open up X again, and it's just people complaining, and I'm like, dude, I went through Vanguard,
Right.
and like I didn't see this much hate, and this game it was just hate all over it, and especially when Treyarch like made this game, I still believe that this wasn't the game that Treyarch wanted to make.
It's
Um,
basically confirmed, right?
yeah, and it's just like you know, not that hope in Call of Duty died, but like part of it too is like, dude, if Treyarch can't fix it, and this is what Treyarch's reputation is, what is going to happen with COD? Like it's going to die, and
Yeah.
that's where my head was at. Like throughout the season, it was just so negative all the time, and that led me to like I didn't just not play COD. I didn't play video games like period because it was just, I didn't want to play anything. And I
Mhm.
think I've learned that I need a COD to balance out like my other games. Like I can't. I've always played COD alongside another game like my entire life. So yeah, like I didn't even play any other single player games. Granted, there weren't other exciting games. I know other people talked about this too, but you know, it was weird having like two parts of my like gaming world just gone because I didn't enjoy COD because of all the negativity, and then I didn't enjoy like any of the single player games I had because I didn't have that balance. Like
Right.
they commingled together for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was just this year was very hard mentally for me to just even get through.
Yeah, I I agree. This was a tough year. Didn't have my duo be playing with all the time. That made I had the podcasts going, and I'm just like, fuck,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
trying to grind through. But again, on that end though, like it was more enjoyable to grind this game to master prestige, which I think I'm only like 59. Like I
Mhm.
played a little bit afterwards. I was like, I gotta get just a couple of extra levels there. I should have gotten to 100. Um, but comparing to like MW3 when we got to master or like whatever the max level was in that, this was way more enjoyable to do it as a game. And again, it was hard for sure. When you have an opinion on a game, it's not like we're in the right and everybody else is in the wrong. It was more like, we're just again, we're having different experiences with this game. Because of where we're at. Everybody that we follow on social media, they're all on PC. None of
Mhm.
those people play on console, or if they do, it's like, a handful of them that do. Um, and even our friends, like, most of the people that I know, other than you, they all play on PC. So you and I had the exact same experience, and then people that we know playing the same game, same level as us, they're like, "Dude, the hackers, the hackers." I'm like, "Oh, like get a PS5, dog."
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you know what I mean? Um, so that was a real problem with the game, for everybody involved with it, and it just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth regarding Treyarch. Um, to your point earlier, they've always been viewed as the saviors, and now all of a sudden they are once again viewed as the saviors with Black Ops 7. Um, but they were viewed that way when 6 came out, and it felt like they let us down. And I don't know to this day, I don't know really if anybody knows how much control they have over the anti-cheat and ricochet and all of that. Um, I That's above my pay grade. I have no idea if they're the ones that developing that. It's Activision, who's in charge of it. All the questions that you could possibly have about it. I have no idea. I will say though, I just find it a little fucking strange that they would not be able to get it together for that. But then with Black Ops 7, with the beta, they had like some of the lowest hacker numbers that they've had in recent years in COD. I just don't know how much, I'm like, who's really pulling the strings here when it comes to this stuff. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it was Treyarch, and then shame on them for kind of just letting Black Ops 6 go by the wayside and be like, if he dies, he dies. We got to
Mhm.
work on Black Ops 7. Um, if that was the case, that would not be great. But,
Yeah, and
but
to
who knows?
your point about that too, I don't understand how I don't know how many maps they released in Black Ops 6, like, at least 10, right? Like,
Yeah,
how come all 10 are, like, not good, but every single one in the beta that we've gotten so far is good? Like, a complete it's not like, you know it's a 50-50 split. It's
is this
like
some
it couldn't
Illuminati
dude,
shit? Does it?
dude, it converts completely, like, every map they put out was good compared
It's
to
like, did you notice how every map in Black Ops 6 was dog shit?
yeah,
In Black Ops 7, every map is godlike.
and,
Who's making
Tre
these
yeah,
maps? The
and
same
Treyarch
people?
yeah, Treyarch released this game, and now Treyarch's releasing this game, of Black Ops 7, and they're listening to feedback, and they're removing doors, they're, fixing these perks immediately. So you're telling me that's the same exact support we got in Black Ops 6, but it's the same developer. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, something's weird there, but, yeah, like, honestly, at one point in the year, I'm just like, COD might be over, like, in
yeah.
terms of what we knew COD was, like the development and stuff. Like if Treyarch can't save it, then I don't know what other developer will.
Well, that yeah, and that was the huge point, like, people say that jokingly every year, but that was definitely the real thing coming
Mhm.
off of what we had, um, and they failed, and
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh my god," like, this just like, it was a good game, again, like, you'd be surprised by a score, like, it was a good game, but the hacking part was a real nail in the coffin for a lot of players, and we're like, "Oh, dude, they're not fixing this, like, we're screwed." Um so I don't know if it was just because of like you said many times before that Black Ops 7 is really what they were going to be putting their focus on, or if it's the battlefield pressure. It was a combo of both. Who really knows? But Treyarch, we've once again said this whole thing about them that they were going to be the ones that would save COD, and we just were short one fucking year because Black Ops 7. It seems like they have. Um, we were saying before, like what they've got already, this game for us score wise, like, don't want to jinx anything. It's in the nines. Like it could be in the nines easily here
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
what we've seen.
Yeah.
Um, with what we saw off the rip with Black Ops 6 when the beta came out, I know this isn't just hindsight. Like I probably could go back and quote myself. Like this game did not have the potential to be it was definitely in the eights, but in the nines, no. Like nines, we're
Mhm.
talking some of the greatest titles ever.
Yeah.
And that takes a
And
lot.
and we talk about potential a lot in all these games. Like
It's always yeah,
it,
bro. It's
potential's
always
right there. MW2, MW3, it's right
like, you're
there.
right there. You're so
Dude.
close. You're so close.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to the development, like support that we get from them and the damn maps, dude. Like I just find it so hard to believe again, like this game, the maps that we have, and then the maps we get at this beta. They're
Yeah,
so different. Like
it's
they're
crazy.
not even comparable.
Yeah.
And they made like this whole game,
Where were these
and
map designers? Where were
that's
they?
what yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm like, did your map design philosophy completely change? They have a meeting. They're like, dude, everything sucked with Black Ops 6. We need to. It's like if they did, kudos.
Yeah,
If that's
kudos.
how it
Yeah.
went down, but I
Yeah.
find that hard to believe.
And I hope like, 10, 15 years down the line, we get someone that leaves Treyarch and it's like, this is what really happened. All right. Back in 2024 to
Yeah,
2025, this is what happened here.
the
And
real
someone like
story.
yeah, someone speaks up on it after their like NDA is expired or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, like this year, it just really took a toll on me. Like I just didn't game a lot in general because of the amount of negativity that I saw on the timeline, and it sucked because yeah, there are times where I literally loaded up the PlayStation, played a game like nah,
yeah.
like I'm not playing anymore. This sucks. Or I'd rather just sit in my chair and like doom scroll than just
Right.
hop on and play and like concentrate on something.
Yeah.
Um, it just sucked when you're going into a year and you got the beloved Treyarch. It's like, yeah, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, and then nothing happens, and then you become worried because all these other big content creators, people we follow, they're just moving off the game like quickly too, and I'm sure part of it too, like was just I just had a lot going on too, and the majors this year. We didn't go to a major this year because there wasn't one like close by, like in Boston, and so we didn't go to one. Competitive was just people were complaining about it. The maps were the same fucking maps over and over. Uh,
Optic was terrible
the
all
optic was
year.
terrible. Like, uh, dude, the breach weren't doing good at all in
Yeah.
the beginning. Like, it
It
was
was
just,
just it was depression
dude.
city
I
across
think
the board.
ah, I forget which event it was, but it was like, dude, they panned to um the crowd and it was like legit maybe 50 people. I forget
Oh,
what
yeah, yeah, it was,
dude,
dude,
it
that
was
I think
early.
that bro, I thought that was Champs, like, the early days of Champs.
Was it? It
Like,
might have been early days of champs.
I think it was
It-
early days of
yeah.
Champ. People are like, I remember scumping them being like, "Yo."
Yeah, they're
Like,
like they gotta
they were like,
stop.
"What
Yeah.
happened?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah,
They
yeah. No,
didn't
you're
get
right. You're
shot.
right. Yeah. And I'm like, COD's COD's dying. Like
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, duh, there's no way competitive is. like on the decline. And like my worst fear, as corny as it sounds, is like competitive COD. It's just like over. Like
Yeah.
no one cares about it. It's like Halo. Like
Yeah,
I
I was just
couldn't
gonna say it's like Halo.
imagine if like my favorite game, the competitive scene, just died. Like all those personalities are gone,
Yeah.
and yeah, it even like seeped through to like YouTube content and stuff too. Like on the next level, like I didn't even watch a lot of like uh COD content, like Optic
Yeah.
or anything, because I'm like, man, that what's the point? Like the
Right.
no one likes this game anymore. Um,
Yeah.
I watched all the flanks out of just because like I like listening to those guys, but I literally only listen to them.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of my way to listen to like other people. It was just yeah, it was tough. Every type of content I was listening to was someone shitting on the game,
Yeah.
like
Now
every
again, you couldn't
single
avoid
day.
it. You couldn't avoid it. It was constantly you were inundated with people just making some comment about the game or doing some, long post about how COD's gonna die or whatever. Yeah, and it definitely wore on us,
Mhm.
for sure. Um, but we can't let that affect the score, bro.
No, it
Can't.
can't. Yeah, we gotta look at
So
the bigger picture.
yeah, Justin, got to ask you. With that being said, Black Ops 6, the final score, 1 through 10. What do you give it, my man? What is it?
So after all the complaining I did of all the hackers, maps, and everything and gameplay, again, people are gonna be surprised. Don't fucking get mad at us for the score. Um, let us know what you think of the game down below. But out of 10, I'm giving this an 8-2. An 8-2. What about
I
you?
think I, I think I give it. What did I say beforehand? Was it an 8-2? Is that what I said, or an 8-1?
Uh, I
I
think you
think it
said
was an
8-2.
8-1 or an 8-2 because I have to judge it
Give
based off of
you got to
what
give
I
one
gave.
8-1 or
Well,
8-2.
what do you remember? What I gave Cold War?
8-3.
This is an 8-2.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is an
8-2.
8-2, which sounds fucking crazy putting this behind Cold War that far or by that little, I mean. Um, but I still have to respect the fact that like, we were joking about this. We didn't know what was in store for us down the line. So if I could go back in time, I'd put that Cold War up to like an 8-6 or something like
Mhm.
that, or an 8-7. I'd
Well,
put
yeah.
it around there. But you
Mhm.
can't change the past. Like
That's
it
what
is
we're
what it
comparing
is.
to. We're comparing it to the past, right? That's how all the rating I gave Cold War a 7-9.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I would give Cold War minimum an 8, like, at this after all the games we've played, like,
Yeah.
a 7-9, I'm comparing it to, Black Ops 4, like, all the other CODs, like
Yeah, the greats.
yeah, the greats, like, if we're going off of that, dude, all these games are, like, maybe 5s.
Right. Right.
Like, it's just it's crazy. Um,
Yeah, it's a new era that we're basing these CODs around and what we think of as a perfect score because again, like most people would put Black Ops 2, for us Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. I mean, Black Ops 4 for me in all of the CODs is like a 9-8. I
mhm,
mean, that's like as good as it gets. And like to say that this game Black Ops 6 is an 8-2 compared to that, it's like,
yeah,
there's a big jump there. There's a
mhm,
big jump. But in the new realm of games that we're talking about,
mhm,
yeah, it was pretty good. Again, we shit on the game a lot because we play a lot. We got to be that critical of it. It came,
mhm,
oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, like now the maps were the biggest miss this year, no doubt. And that is like one of the pillars that you've got to have for your title to be successful. If you don't have that, everything else has to make up for it. Fortunately, the movement was a huge innovation that they brought into the game, and I think it's going to change the landscape of COD for quite a long time. And we're already seeing that with Black Ops 7. I'm curious to see what other devs do with that movement system if they develop it or not. I think they'd be foolish not to.
mhm,
Um, but that was a huge thing that they got figured out. The gunplay was good. And then the rank play for us, again, the rank system was not bad for us. We did not have that experience, but you have to again just keep in mind that other people who are listening to this might think we're fucking faded for saying that this game is an 8. And if you're a PC player and you play ranked, like, oh, I hear you.
yeah,
Like,
we hear you.
I'm not
We
gonna
get it.
debate you on why the game's worse for you, no doubt. But for us, like, that experience, we didn't have it like that at all. It was very, very minimal hacking. But yeah, it definitely was not in the nines because the maps were just like, you know, for sure the weakest point of the game.
Yeah, the maps and the the gameplay of Black Ops 6 saved it. Like it held it up to the 8 like easily. I mean, Modern Warfare 3, you and I ranked it 8-1. Like, and again, it fell that low because of the maps.
Gameplay is good, maps ain't good.
Maps. Yeah. And I'm sure maybe one day we'll go back through like all the CODs, right? And like if we looked at COD bigger picture, not like 1 year at a time, because realistically, that's how you should look at it, right? Like standalone game. You can't compare it to like the other games and you rank it out of 10. That's like the way to do it. Um
That'll
I
be an
that
off season or break episode. We'll do like a full COD tier list and give an actual one instead of some of these shit tier lists that I see. And I'm like, bro, what? You have Vanguard?
yeah.
And like, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Because I think I think these numbers would change. Like
yeah,
if we looked at all of them as a whole instead of like individually.
yeah,
I think the only one that you and I have gotten like pretty right is Vanguard 6.5, 6.8. Like, dude, that game,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's where it is.
I'm never gonna play that game again in my life, and
Never again.
I'm not gonna miss that.
Yeah, like I would. mu- I'll go back and play every other COD from Cold War and on besides Vanguard.
Yeah.
um,
I again, I think for a COD to be in the nines out of 10, like you've got to have good maps, you got to have obviously good gameplay, um, and I'd say like with a working rank system. Like if you have those three things, then you're already kind of in there. If you start to then make something that innovates on it, like for us, Black Ops 4, where like when you had all the specialists that were still in there and they changed them a bit from Black Ops 3, that was a big innovation, and it succeeded.
mhm,
Like those things where they do a little tweak, like we were getting with the Omni movement, that was a big jump. Same thing with Black Ops 7 with the wall bouncing. Yeah, granted, it's Omni movement slightly dialed down, but it's a new innovation and it works. Those are the things that the devs have to think outside the box to create to make it fresh and take a chance. And it can either succeed or fail. But if you want to take the chance and it does well, then you're going to end up having one of the best CODs of all time. But you've got to, of course, have like the good maps and solid gameplay. Without those, forget it.
yeah, good maps, solid gameplay will basically decide the COD's
Yeah.
future and the
Right.
support too. Like you need support on the game. You know, like we didn't even talk about the seasons, but like it just seems like seasons are always gonna be a thing from now on. We need content every single year from these developers. We need developers to listen to feedback
Yeah.
and fix stuff when we say things are wrong.
Yeah, and that was definitely a problem this year, especially um on the hacking side, but
Mhm,
I think that's where it was really tough for them because that's such a huge thing, that I can only imagine the amount of hours and money that's involved in trying to make that happen. It's still no excuse. It's not like Activision is some startup company,
mhm.
but um, you're right. They need to be giving that support all the time throughout the entire life cycle of the game, not just for when it suits them most. Because there's people that are still playing the game right now up until when Black Ops 7 comes out. And if the game hasn't really changed that much in the matter of, months from when these problems came up, then it's a huge problem.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this extra long episode
Oh
here.
yeah.
I mean, we're approaching two. I feel like we gotta just get to two
I was
hours
gonna
at
say,
this
Dustin, we
point.
have to
I
just
mean,
yap for a little bit.
um,
Go on some long speech.
yeah, I had Black Ops 6 was just it was a very different year for both of us. I mean, ever since we started this podcast, right, in 2020, like we haven't had a year where it was this, I guess, like hard mentally for us to get through the game. Dude, I thought Vanguard was it.
And well, and it's weird because, like with our scores reflecting and like all that being said, it wasn't really a bad game for us, like
Yeah.
for us.
Mhm.
But when you see everybody that you enjoy hating something that you're like kind of quietly saying to yourself, you're like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's when it was really hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I think part of it too, again, it's just, like it is life. I mean, you got to face it. Like we are getting older. We can't be playing every single day, 24/7 all the time.
Mhm.
Like we want to. It's just that's the way it goes. We had a whole bunch of things come up in our lives that we had to go and deal with. But um, I mean, I know damn sure that you and I are still playing a lot more than other people out there who barely put in any time anymore on the game. Like, if we're gonna be, talking about these games and doing any reviews, yeah, you got to put the time in.
Mhm.
And um, I don't like seeing people who ever go in if they wanted to criticize us. I'm like, let me see the level, bro. Let me see how many hours you put into these games over the years. Like if you haven't been playing the game that much, I don't really think you can comment on them.
Mhm.
And like we said with the whole zombies thing too. Um, I'd love to, if people listening that play zombies, I'd love to hear more about your opinion on zombies because, um, again, it felt like this was a year that we, unfortunately missed out on. And I need to know if that's a regret or if they're like, you didn't miss that much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you guys did like zombies, let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe we do look at it because I know for sure Black Ops 7. Like, I mean, we're gonna have to play it. We have to.
Gonna
You
have
know,
to.
yeah. So I
With the
mean,
way the multiplayer's looking, it looks like everything's going to be in good shape. That game, again, knock on wood, that game
mhm,
could be in the nines.
it could be.
We're getting there.
It could hit all three. Campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, like full circle. Like all three are just outstanding, and they're
Mhm.
coming out with Blackout 2. Blackout 2 could be so much better than Warzone, and for
Yeah.
whatever reason, you and I just really like Blackout like
Right.
more.
Right.
Um, if they
But
can,
only time will tell, though.
yeah, and by time we mean a week because by the time you guys listen to this, Black Ops 7 is coming out the Friday,
Mhm.
unless they release it early. Um,
I've heard that they're not. I think that's
yeah,
confirmed that they're
mhm,
not going to, which who really gives a shit?
yeah, but I did hear other rumors though that if you did pre-order the game, you might be able to play the campaign like a couple days early.
Oh,
Rumor,
okay.
not confirmed. If they do that, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't think they're going to release the game early, so let us know what you think when this comes out that Monday because yeah, by the time you guys listen, it's COD week,
It's time.
it's launch week, and no matter how much you hate COD or like COD, you know
You're all
everyone's
gonna be
always
excited.
everyone's gonna be excited around this time.
Yeah.
Everyone, and
We're
I'm just I always get excited every time, so
the
it's gonna be
case of
fun.
white monster is on its way.
Dude, the game
As
comes out, like,
Those
yeah,
are
dude.
that's the best night, bro. The
Yeah, it is.
Friday night, we get home from work, get the drinks, get the food rolling, the Uber Eats. You spend way too
Oh,
much
dude,
money.
100%. I
And you're
I know
just
for a
like,
fact I'm
let's
probably
lock
I'm
in.
gonna order, like, Cane's, maybe some
Yeah,
Burger King.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not I just
yeah.
wanna feel like a kid again, like, late at night, just, get my dope.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No,
come.
exactly. It's gonna be good. So I hope everyone's in the same boat as us with it.
Mhm. Yeah. So, again, we hit our 2 hours. Thank you,
We
everyone.
did it.
I
Thank
hope
you.
you guys enjoyed this very, very long episode.
Hmm.
If you guys listened all the way through, we gotta come up with a word for them to, like, comment or, like, leave behind so we know they made it all the way through. What should it be? Any
Uh,
gotta
damn.
be.
I don't know what it would be. I
Um
was gonna say Activision.
I know. Well, let's do warfare. Warfare.
Sure,
Warfare.
I
If
like
you
that.
listen to the whole thing at this point, you're a real one, first of all.
Yeah, you're a fucking
Dude,
warrior. Get through
yeah.
2 hours of this shit.
Leave warfare down below and let us know that you listened all the way through. Um, but yeah, if you guys are on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe over there. Leave a comment down below. We're also on anchor.fm/the COD Casuals, where we're on all streaming platforms. And if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, we chop it up.
Understandable.
Yeah, we chop it up, post it on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and post it over there. And again, make sure to leave a 5-star rating because it does help us out a ton, especially going to the next year. So
Mhm.
I think
Absolutely.
that's it.
That's
And
it, bro.
an end to Black Ops 6, the end of season 5 of the COD Casuals. So thank you
Mhm.
everyone for listening.
Yes, we
And
appreciate the support.
yeah, thank you everyone. This has been episode 247 of the COD Casuals. We're your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
and we'll see you guys in Black Ops 7.
Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.